You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Today on our Weight Loss Wednesday show, I want to get into one thing that all successful dieters do. So over the past 20 years now, I've had the privilege of working with thousands of people and really seen it all when it comes to body transformation. And I say that from the standpoint that when I was first starting out, I worked in gyms and then I consulted for health clubs and studios in 5 different states. I've coached over 500 different health practitioners and also personal trainers. I own 2 studios in Boston in addition to the Wellness Center. So I know what the successful people do versus the people who kind of get some results and they stop after a while. So let's not keep you in suspense. The one successful thing that all dieters do is they understand that any plan can help you lose the weight in the short term, but only a long-term outlook and a long-term plan will ever help you keep the weight off. So what I want to do is I want to break this down specifically because I know that might have sounded like a little maybe esoteric or just too far out there. But here's the thing. You can go on any plan. I mean, truthfully, that's low calorie, that's low whatever, and you'll lose 5 pounds or so. Maybe you lose 10, and that's fine. But you're going to gain that weight back, and we all know that everyone's been there before. Like, this just happens over and over again. So the issue is this. It's not about how fast can you lose those first couple pounds. It's can you keep it going? So my philosophy has always been the same. I want to help people get a big win up front. I want to help them lose somewhere around 5 pounds or so their first week, and then another 3 to 5 their second week, and then another 2 to 3 or so their third week. And then after that, so that right there is about 10 to 15 pounds. And then after that, I want them to lose 1% of their body weight every single week on average until they reach their goal. So let's break this down a little bit. Let's say your goal is to lose 40 pounds, okay? Let's say you weigh 200 and you want to get to 160. Okay, so that first month, we can absolutely help you lose somewhere around, let's just be conservative and say 15 pounds or so, okay? 10 to 15 pounds, 10 on the very low end, and easily 15 plus pounds for most people. All right, so after that first month, you still have what, about 25 pounds to go. All right. So now we're going to take a smart, longer term approach and we're going to say we're going to lose the weight and we're going to learn how to keep it off in the process. All right. So after 4 weeks, we're going to lose approximately, let's say you're down to 180 pounds. Making hard math for myself, or 1.7 or 175. So it's 1.75. Okay. Now 1.75 a week times 4 weeks per month. That's going to be about 6 pounds per month. All right. So now we have our math here. So how many weeks now is it going to take us to lose that last 25 from the original 40 that we wanted? All right. So with each week we lose 6, or each month we lose 6. About 4 months later, we'll lose 24, 25 pounds. So that's great. So we know that 1 month where we're going to get our big weight loss up front, then we're going to add 4 more months. That means in no more than 5 months, you will be down 40 pounds at your goal weight, feeling great, looking great, and then you're going to maintain that. So you see that all of this weight loss stuff we've been kind of force-fed is not to our advantage because it destroys our psyche. It tries to make us think that we need to get everything in the first few weeks and that if we don't, then it's a failure. The diet's a failure. The detox is a failure. The whatever, cleanse is a failure. You name it, right? Anything that you want, it's not. What you're doing, hopefully, if it's a healthy plan, is you're learning to rebalance your body, right? Because some weeks you might lose 1 pound and another week you might lose 3. You're looking at the total month. No one week is a make it or break it. And that's the problem. When people put that type of pressure on themselves, if they don't lose any weight 1 week, all of a sudden, they're a failure or the diet failed or whatever failed. It's not true. And especially for women, women right around the time of your cycle, about 5 days or so before, you could easily gain 3 to 5 pounds. It's not going to look like you might have lost a lot of weight, 1, 2, 3 or 4 days or so before your cycle begins. Now, after that, day 1, 2, 3, 4 of your cycle or so, you could easily lose that 3 to 5 pounds. And that's why we don't operate in a vacuum, right? Our lives are not operating just in a vacuum. We weigh in. Hopefully, we're not doing every single day. Or if you do, just, take each day with a grain of salt. I want to see a progressive success story. That's what I look for. Every week, getting more results, moving forward. So that when I look at the total aggregate of all the work that you've put in, we do 12-week programs here at our studios. The reason we do 12 weeks is we're teaching you to be successful. We're not going to see people for a couple sessions. That's for like a gym-based, personal trainer or something like that. We believe in true health. We believe in long-term results. We're not going to lie to you. We're not going to give you something that simply isn't true. What we do here is our passion, and we're very ethical about it. So you get a nutrition plan, you get all your exercise, all that good stuff. Well, here's the thing. No matter what plan you're following, whether it's the Dr. Cabral Detox, whether it's our fat loss and nutrition plan, whatever it might be, we want to make sure that you look at this from a long-term perspective. Because once you lose the weight, have you thought about it? Okay, you're at your goal weight, right? You've lost that 40 pounds, no problem, in 5 months. What happens now? How do you maintain that? That's what no one thinks about, right? So if you're not working with a coach or you don't have a plan, how do you maintain that? Of course, we use our smoothie in the morning. We do a lot of base things, but what if you're not doing that? You have to look at it. How am I going to deal with stress? That's a big question, right? That's really important. What are you going to do when you go out to eat? Every single time. Are you on the plan or not on the plan? What's your exercise going to look at? What are you going to do around the holidays? Is it just one meal or is it the full day or is it a couple days in a row? And then what is your long-term meal planning going to be? Because I'm telling you, if you're someone who's more prone to putting on weight, you can't just slide back to what you were doing in the past. That was your past. Keep it in your past. If you don't, you are destined to repeat your past. It's really important that we look at. There are some things in life that we do that keep us stuck in one position, kind of wheels in the mud, not moving anywhere. But then there are things we do where we start to get progress. It is those things that we're doing when we're getting progress that should lead us to then say, this is what works best with my body. And as long as it's a healthy approach, not a short-term approach, that has to be kept up with. And that's why I say this, you need to keep things going strong. This is a lifetime-based plan. However, you don't need to kill yourself with exercise. You don't need to do it even necessarily every day, but at least 3 to 4 days per week. And again, not at an hour, but at 20, 30, 40 minutes. That's okay. That's acceptable. And then meal plans, well, more good, healthy eating than not. Try to stick with just one cheat meal per week till you reach your goal weight. And then once you reach your goal weight, maybe make 2 cheat meals per week. Start to add in more fruit, add in more of those healthy gluten-free starches. All of that's okay, but you need to test out these theories. You just can't go all at once. You need to say, okay, what thing do I really crave right now? This is just giving you a little insight into how I run my practice. What do you crave right now? What's that thing that you love the most? You want pasta? Okay, let's try some rice pasta out. There's so many great brands. There's Jovial, there's Lundberg. There's a lot of great brands. Those are rice-based ones. They do buckwheat-based ones, which is also gluten-free. Try that out. Try that as a lunchtime or an dinner time meal. See how that works with your body. Weigh yourself the next day. Did you put on 2 or 3 pounds? It's not from the excess calories. It is from the inflammation. Your body right now can't regulate itself with maybe that higher glycemic load, can't regulate itself with some of those starches. You have to get to know your body. This isn't good or bad. It just is. We have to start being more accepting of ourselves. And it also, the beautiful thing is it doesn't mean you're destined to this. It means for right now. So for many years, I had to give up many, I would say, common foods, right? I'd have to give up many of the starches which I enjoyed. I had to give up a lot of high histamine-based foods. Now I can have those to a certain extent. Will they ever be the kind of person to just be able to kind of go overboard with some things that aren't even healthy in the first place for me to eat? No, I'm probably going to be always a little bit more sensitive to that. But that's okay because I don't choose to have a cheat meal every single day. If I have 1 or 2 a week, that's fine with me. I'm telling you, once you start down this path, you will start to begin to enjoy living a healthier lifestyle. You'll start to talk with more people who also enjoy a healthier lifestyle. They enjoy doing certain types of exercise. They enjoy certain meals. They start to get more into smoothies. They get more into vegetable-based juices. They get more into greens powders and all of these different types of things. That's a fantastic thing because I'm telling you, this will not only get you to your goals, whether it be body transformation or health, but it will also help you to live longer. You'll be giving yourself the absolute best chance, best possibility to live a long, healthy life. And for me, it's not about the number of years that you live. It's the quality of those years. I want to be moving around active and healthy in my 70s or 80s. If I don't live to 120, I'm okay with that, okay? If I do, great. But what I want is I don't want to be decrepit when I'm 80 years old. I don't want that. I want to be able to write. I want to be able to walk. I want to be able to do all of those things, with my grandkids at those times. That's what I want. And I have to start thinking about that now. So it's not always about just the weight. It's not always about all these things. We want to get our bodies healthy. So I'm telling you right now, all the successful dieters that I've seen in my practice, they're looking at, okay, quick win in the beginning, just slow and steady, 1 to 2 pounds per week, maintain that, keep getting it, 6 to 8 pounds per month. Okay, I'm going to lose my weight within this 4 months, 5 months, again, depending on the amount of weight that you lose. If your goal is only to lose 15, 20 pounds, you could lose that your first month or 6 weeks. Absolutely. But let's look longer term as well. And then once you reach it, great, have a cheat meal, enjoy, have some fun. And then after that, right back on the plan. I'm telling you, don't stray too far. You'll be much happier on a day-to-day basis. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another Cabral Concept. I want to sincerely thank you for your support of this podcast. I couldn't do it without you, and I mean that. I truly do. I also want to make sure you knew that we now have multiple ways for you to find your answers to the most difficult health, wellness, weight loss, and anti-aging questions. You can find podcast-specific topics like thyroid, adrenal, hormones, sleep, digestion, Ayurveda, and many more at stevencabral.com/podcasts that will then link you to your favorite Apple, Spotify, and other podcast players. Plus, all new podcasts and weekly exclusive video content is being added to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Stephen Cabral. And that's Stephen with a PH. Head on over and subscribe so that you don't miss any of the exclusive content. Lastly, if you've ever found any of my podcasts or books to be helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could leave a review on iTunes or your favorite media player for the podcast. Rating and subscribing to the YouTube and podcast allow me to reach more and more people and help spread my mission of healing throughout the world. Thank you again for being a part of this movement.